Welcome and welcome back, everybody. T here. And believe it or not, it is almost 2022. As we're wrapping up here with the last few days, or in some of your cases, few hours of 2021, like many of you, I've been doing a lot of reflecting. And as you may know, one of the biggest changes in my life this past year has been starting a YouTube channel. So I wanted to share some of those thoughts and some of that journey here with you today. My mind goes all the way back to when I was a young kid, looking around me at other kids, at adults, just people in general, and realizing that a lot of them had one thing that they were really intensely passionate about, whether it was a sport or music or drawing or anything really. There was something that they were super excited about that would kind of permeate their life for years. And it was so inspiring to be around those people who were so dedicated. I, on the other hand, while I was very passionate, lacked some of that dedication. My brain does this thing where I hyperfixate on one thing for a month, maybe like hand lettering or calligraphy. Maybe the next month it's sewing. Maybe the next month it's dance. Maybe the next month it's arts. But I never really stay on one thing for too long. And I always growing up kind of felt like maybe there was something wrong with me. I tried to force myself into liking one thing and sticking with it past its time, but that never really worked out and always left me feeling kind of anxious, I suppose, and kind of out of touch. In 2015, however, I fell into the board gaming hobby through a series of unrelated and very serendipitous events. And for the first time, I felt like there was something in my life that I was so intensely passionate about, but that also had this limitless plane of exploration and excitement and novelty. It was a world that I knew nothing about. I didn't have someone to guide me or bait me into it. So it was really just diving in headfirst on my own and dragging anybody and everybody around me with me who would come. And that was such an exciting time to be new to the hobby, exploring all these new games, all these new designers, all these new communities, these contests, these events. It was just amazing. And being able to sit someone down who had never really engaged with board games and show them that world was so exciting. Or to have somebody who wasn't convinced and to pull that one game that I knew would sink its hooks into them and see their eyes light up with that limitless possibility. That was the best thing. It's so amazing to see that spark of life and that joy. By the time 2020 came around and things had shut down, I had met so many amazing people in our board game community here locally, and we were having game nights on average 3 to 4 times a week. And I say average because yes, there were times where it was just 1 or no game nights, but there were also weeks where it was 5 or 6 or 7 nights a week. So it was a big shock to the system and to my schedule, honestly, when things shut down in spring of 2020. And for the first month or two, I was a little relieved, honestly, because it took some of the pressure off. I got to take a step back, reevaluate my life, get back into delving into some of those really specific and niche passions and hobbies and exploring some other avenues, but none of them really stayed the course. I have to admit as well, sorry, my friends who live locally, I was a little relieved to be able to play games by myself and feel like I had the time and the energy to delve into solo gaming, because that's one of the aspects that's been with me since the beginning, is playing solo games. And it's stuck with me all these years. And I finally had a lot of time to really fully explore that in more depth without feeling guilty from detracting from gaming with friends. During the pandemic, there were some game nights online and, things like that, but we really abstained from gaming with anybody in person. We're really going to any events for over a year. And in 2021, the end was not really in sight. Vaccines and things are coming to light, but it was still a pretty iffy time. And I was really craving that interaction and that social component of being able to talk with people, across the table like friends and share new games and share our experiences and laugh together and cry together and just be swept up in the whirlwind that is board gaming. And I thought, what better way to be social about board games than to join a social media platform. But this was really tricky for me to wrap my mind around because hyper-focused brain knew that I would probably get into video creation and be really enamored with the idea of, oh, how can you get the best shots, and learning all these things like what equipment you need to use and how do you edit videos, because I had none of that coming into this, let me tell you. I was clueless. And I figured that after a month or two, I would probably be done with it. Because that's how my brain works, and that's how it's been with literally everything else in my life other than board gaming. And beyond that, that hyper-focused part of my brain is also an extreme perfectionist. So thinking about creating something that was good enough to exist on the internet, not to mention all of the fantastic, amazing content that's already out there, the amazing creators on all of these social media platforms who are in the board gaming industry, either professionally or casually. It's just like how I couldn't wrap my mind around how I could do that, A, to begin with, because I had no prior knowledge, and B, how I would ever have a voice that would be important enough or valid enough to make something worth your time. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste anybody's time. And so it was hard to overcome those kind of nagging voices in my mind. But I thought, you know, if I'm going to do it, I just have to do it. And looking into a lot of reflection and listening to some very wise words of some people that I really look up to who are in this industry and elsewhere, I realized I just had to take the plunge. And that became super apparent when I got Lux Eterna, a game I'd been waiting for years. Finally got it to play it, opened it up, and again, every time I get a new game like that, it feels like I'm back in 2015 discovering the hobby all over again. And that was something that I so desperately wanted to share with people. And I couldn't share it with friends because they were apart, and even if they were here, it's a solo game. Like, how do you, like, hey, you guys want to come over and watch me play this board game so I can tell you how cool it is? Like, that's not how it works. So I decided, you know what, I just have to do it. And lo and behold, to my surprise, some of you showed up, and some of you enjoyed it, and some of you had some awesome things to say and some things to share and reached out beyond the confines of this particular platform. And I'm so intensely grateful for that. And for everyone who's joined since, I can't even tell you. It's been such an amazing ride. And here we are, a solid 8 months later. Blows my mind. But I'm so intensely excited, and as intensely passionate as I am about board games, I am now intensely passionate about YouTube and sharing those board games and those experiences with you. Honestly, like, that would not even be possible without you being here. Whether you've seen one video or all of them, I don't even know how many we're at this point, but it's more than I ever thought was gonna be possible. But it's just been amazing. And honestly, each time I make a new video, it's such an intensive process, but seeing y'all's reaction and seeing your comments and having you reach out beyond that, it really brings that spark and that joy that I found back in 2015 when I started the hobby, and that spark that I get from interacting with other people and seeing them get so much enjoyment and fulfillment out of the hobby as well. It's been a really rough past couple of years for obvious reasons, and some maybe not so obvious. So having that this past year in 2021, it's been overwhelmingly invaluable, and I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, cannot thank you enough for that, because it's been such a gift to be able to share in this journey together. That being said, I do have a lot of new ideas and fun things that I want to continue going into 2022. So hopefully you'll be along for the ride with that as well. One of the big things is, as you may notice, the quality here has improved, hopefully slightly, hopefully noticeably. And I know that the quality is not the important thing, but I felt it was a really important thing for me mentally, symbolically, to show my dedication to the hobby and to YouTube and to you guys for being here. I want to be able to do the best content possible, and I'm still learning so much. I'm still messing up so much, but I'm trying my best to honor the time that you've given me in stopping by and watching these videos as best I can. And I really, really hope that comes through, because like I said, I'm so intensely grateful for each and every person who has stopped by on the channel in any capacity. So again, thank you for the millionth time. Thank you. But yeah, for 2022, so excited. Personal goals for board gaming, get that shelf of shame down. For YouTube, keep making content. For life, other things as well. And I hope that for you at home, you also have something that you're looking forward to in 2022, whether it's board gaming related or not. I hope that you are able to pursue your passions and maybe overcome your fears is the wrong word, because I still get so nervous every time I'm about to turn on the camera. There's still a lot of fear there, I'll be honest. But maybe not overcome your fears, but maybe regardless of fears, regardless of what anyone says or that little perfectionist voice in your brain says, I hope you give yourself permission to live fully in 2022, because giving myself permission to start YouTube and to meet all of you lovely people has been such a treat and such a gift. That's all the time we have for today and for this year. Here it is. One more thanks. Thanks for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.